From the 28-yard line of Auburn. Bama going left to right. Bryce gets the snap, knee high. Looks, throws the fade route, near side end zone. Got it! Caught! Touchdown, Alabama! Caught by Ja'Cory Brooks in the end zone.
And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis! Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back! Auburn's going to win the football game! Auburn's going to win the football game!
And Alabama has come from nowhere to defeat the Auburn Tigers in multiple overtimes.
Are you really going to make me wear an Auburn shirt and you not wear one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's snowing out here today. We may be showing a picture of it, but no, I'm in my winter clothes. It's snowing. We're good. But you lost your bet.
I lost my bet, but I was expecting us to be the Tiger podcast.
No, we're not twinsies.
I was going to be the Tigers and Tigers podcast instead of Tide and Tigers.
I'm Tigers no matter what I'm wearing.
No, this is the Adidas and Tigers podcast now. Sponsored by Logan Paul and Prime every week with his strawberry banana. So, yes, I actually that almost hit your computer, and now Chance is gone. So, all right, I lost the bet. I follow up with it and had to wear the Auburn shirt. Just doesn't feel right. It's not the right orange and blue with my Gator background. It's not Alabama. I don't like it, but I'm gonna wear it because I'm a man. Honor my word here on Tide and Tigers. Let's get to the game. The Iron Bowl of basketball, 1-2, first time since 2008. What a game it was.
Yeah.
I'll start first. The key takeaways to me: Bama gave up 94 points on their home floor.
Mm-hmm.
You can't win a top 2 matchup if you give up 94 points. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And I know both teams are high-powering teams, but Auburn's defense in the first half in particular was very good. You know, they led pretty much the whole way through the game, but they really got after it on defense in the first half. But to give up 94 is pretty ridiculous. 6 players in double figures. So it wasn't just Broom. It was everybody.
Well, yeah, with Auburn, it was all of them in the first half.
Yes.
Really. Like that, it was terrifying for us going into the second half because I was like, well, we're going to foul out this early? And most of them close did.
Well, so a lot of fouls, yes, but and it was terrible. It was very terrible.
Terrifying is what I tried to
Terrifying and terrible the same word. It's terrible. Chance is now creating new words on here on Tide and Tigers. Bama 5 for 26 from 3-point. That's 19.2%.
Mm-hmm.
Live and die by the 3. We've talked about it every single week, and they do it again. You mentioned Auburn's free throws. I'd rather have a bad free throw percentage than this bad of a 3-point percentage.
Well, that's true, but if you look at Auburn's, this was one of the better games of us shooting threes.
Yes.
And that was one of the differences in us winning this game. I think a lot of those Bama threes were them trying to catch back up.
Yes.
So,
now, if you pull back to the stats, Chance, you're right. I think Auburn made 12 threes in the game. Yeah, 12 of 30. That's a 40%. That's a really good rate.
Exactly.
But the thing is that you don't realize is that Bama, I think, lives off threes, and they want to make layups. So layups and 3-pointers. That's their kind of motto. So they went 5 of 26 from 3. They went 27 of 70 total. So that means the rest of their shots they only went 50% from. Auburn almost shot better from 3 than Bama. So they're only shooting 50% on layups and jump shots. That's not good. So not only did they not shoot good at 3, they shot bad everywhere else. 27 of 70 is horrific.
Well,
so
obviously a lot of those layups that they didn't get turned into free throws
yes.
because of fouls and stuff. So
well, and another thing too to me that stands out so much is 8 assists. They're not sharing the basketball. Like every one of these shots are, these pull-up threes, you driving and taking the guy to yourself. You only share the ball 8 times. They give a lot for assists now. Like if you pass it, take 3 steps, and then lay it up or make a move and shoot it, they give you an assist. To have 8 assists and you score 85 points, that means what? 16 to 24 of your points. So you scored 60 points without getting somebody giving you the ball. That's just not share. They don't share the basketball.
I would say if a team, any team, not just with top 10 team, but if a team does not average in double digits of assists for a complete team, like team total, then you don't deserve to win.
Yeah,
that's just one player really hogging the ball until he's taken off the bench or taken off on.
And speaking of the one player, Mark Sears, 2 for 11 from 3, 4 for 17 from the field, and he had 18 points. most people say 18 points, that's a good game. That was an awful 18 points.
He could have had 50.
Yeah, he could have. But not just that, but that just tells you that a lot of individual, but Jeez. 18 points tells me what? Shot a lot of free throws.
Yes.
So back to your point of a lot of fouls. Bama lived on the free throw line. And again, they shot, but Auburn shot 32 free throws, Bama shot 35. So it wasn't like it was too big of a disparity, but a lot of fouls. They shot 60-something free throws in the game. To me, I hope the next game in Auburn is a lot more of like, hey, let's let them play, let them get away with it more. Let's just not keep trying to bail guys out. But again, Sears, how many free throws does he shoot?
Sears.
11 free throws.
Yeah.
So yeah, he made 8 of his points came from free throws. But go back up to Broom for a second. Broom, 19 points, 14 rebounds, another double-double. He's 3 for 9 from the free throw line. Mm-hmm. I feel like down the stretch, that's really going to be something. He's got to knock free throws down for them to close out teams in the NCAA tournament. I think you've been pointing that out for a couple of weeks now about Auburn's got to be better. They missed 10 free throws again.
And Broom's the one, because he plays so hard throughout the game, he's always pretty much playing off of an injury at this point every game. Like he gets a rolled ankle or something. He's coming off to the side, comes back in. With that being the case, he's the last person I want them fouling at the end of the game for us to win off of free throws. Because he's not making them and he's going to be playing hurt. So he's definitely not going to make them.
Well, that's such a good point, Chance, because usually at the end of the game, you're going to want your best players on the floor. He may come to a point like they used to do with Shaq. Shaq would dominate the game, but if they got a lead in the last couple minutes, they had to pull him from the game.
Yeah, because you don't want him to be the one to get fouled.
But then you don't have him on defense and have him, it's going to be like switch, swatch. But the game sometimes doesn't allow you to do that.
Nope.
So then again, you don't have, like, if they miss a free throw, you can't sub in. Then you got Broom not on defense, or like I said, like Shaq was on defense, and your defense is not the same.
Yeah.
You don't have your leading rebounder in there.
Exactly.
So that's a great point. So what were the takeaways, I guess, for you that you saw watching this game? Because I know a couple times you text me, especially down the stretch of like, we got to make a free throws, we're letting them back in it. But what were the things for Auburn that really stood out to you watching that game that you really, thought showed how good of a team they are, I guess?
Going into T-Town and just not being phased one bit. Even when the player got knocked into the crowd and that little talking back and forth, goes right back in and starts playing again.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Auburn did not get phased.
I think that was the CEO of Thompson.
So it was actually the sister who works in an accounting part of it. They discovered. But yes, at first they were claiming it was the CEO of it. And I was like, oh, that's not good. But no.
So not being phased going into T-Town. Sorry,
I think that was pretty impressive in itself because you knew there was going to be a good game.
Yeah.
But them going in there and just dominating right away. What was it, 9-0 or something?
So
I think that was what I took away from it most. Obviously, missed free throws need to be worked on every game, and obviously we've been working better on the threes because that was one of our better showings.
Tell me this right here, because now they're going to be favored by probably 8 or 9 points in Auburn.
I don't know. It's going to come down to how these other games go for Alabama.
Alabama's
a tough stretch.
Very tough stretch. But I'm saying, no matter, you think it could get bigger than that?
No, I think it'll be closer. Okay. I think it'll be closer. I think Bama's going to prove themselves these next few weeks. I mean, we got, it's the late end of March. Right?
Yeah. If you'll pull back up the stats quick, here's what I wanted to ask you about Auburn. I looked at these stats. They have 4 guys playing over 30 minutes a game.
Let's see this.
Yeah, that's where exactly you were right where you was. Yeah,
I was pulling.
Yeah. So go to the box score right there.
Okay, do the box score instead.
Yeah. They have multiple guys playing 30+ minutes. To me, I looked though, and I brought up the 6 players in double digits. They're very balanced. Like it's not just one guy that's going to beat you. Where you look down at Alabama, it seems like I've always said their great players have to play great. Yeah. Nelson 5 of 11. Sears 4 of 17. Holloway 3 of 8. Phelan, 3 of. So it's like nobody had a great game.
Holloway's the one that came from Auburn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So all of them just had kind of an average game, but like Auburn's players, like I just felt like it was a more well-rounded team effort, and guys really, more assists, more rebound. Bama actually out-rebounded them, but I don't know. It just seemed like a better team. I think Bama may have better individual talent, NBA talent, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But Auburn's got a better college basketball team.
If you also noticed when Broom did get hurt and take himself out and put the ice pack on his ankle and everything and wait till I think it was the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds or something, we actually played better as a team in that aspect. As defense and everything, we had, I think, a couple of them on defense just missed shots and just getting the defensive rebounds.
Yeah.
So when he was out, they have during that time of being injured, they had figured out how to mesh as a team. I think that's going to be a big.
And you obviously want your best player. I remember when Jordan went out the first year with the Bulls, and they had a really good year because they all were like sharing the basketball and stuff like that. But you definitely want him on the floor. But I think that's right. I think that actually helps them down the stretch. Is if he does get in foul trouble, they know how to play without him. So that's a really good point, Chance. So other takeaways from this weekend or that Saturday. Florida wins big. They've jumped up to number 2 in the polls now. So Auburn and Florida both number 2, but I think 3 top 5 teams. So Florida beats Tennessee, handles business. You had Houston. Houston went in and beat Arizona. We thought that might happen. At least I did. I know you picked Arizona. Arizona's now lost 2 games in a row. Texas A&M holds off Arkansas. Calipari 4-8 in SEC, 15-10 overall. Not having quite the season I think people thought that they were going to have in Arkansas. A&M top 5 team now.
Yeah.
Other game. Kentucky and Texas. I picked Texas at home. I think Texas is a really good team, a good tournament team. Kentucky, man, look at Kentucky's 6-6 in the SEC. Yet they have 6 wins over top 25 teams.
Yeah.
They're a team that's would be really good in any other conference, but in the SEC they're looking like an average team. And the other game was Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Mississippi State goes into Ole Miss and wins. So our 2 big games, the road team came in and won in hostile environments. I mean, that's a huge win for Mississippi State. And Mississippi State plays Alabama tonight. That's a big game, Chance. Chance looking up. That was a really good parlay right there.
Look at that.
So Mississippi State cost you.
And Kansas and South Carolina. Those 2.
And Tennessee at 11. So, yeah. Wow. So, yeah. You were right on a lot of things, but definitely not on
Auburn, though.
Yeah, right on Auburn, though. So, yeah, great college basketball weekend. I hated that I'm in the Auburn shirt. Hated that we lost again. I'm not even going to do an Alabama segment today because I'm not wearing this in Alabama segment.
I think that would be even better.
No,
it'd be hilarious.
Heck no, I'll cut right away. All right, so let's go to the other thing of the weekend. This is something I really wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
These All-Star games.
Oh, gosh, the NBA All-Star game that I did not watch, but I checked out some highlights.
Yes. So we've seen the NFL go to a flag football game. Baseball, remember they used to put the World Series on the line in baseball and they took that away. But baseball has been pretty good. The Home Run Derby, obviously everybody loves. This is the worst All-Star weekend I've ever seen in the NBA history.
Let me jump into the one thing that just kind of pissed me off. And I hope that it keeps them from doing it again. The skills challenge.
Yes.
When they figured out a way to win by the rules and beat the game, and because they asked you before they did it, and you approved it, and then you didn't understand because you were like, oh, whatever, they don't know what they're talking about, and then you realized that you were wrong and they were right and they won, you shouldn't take that away from them.
Yeah.
They beat the system, they beat the game. You should change the rules next time. Not in the middle of it. Stuff like that immediately took me away from it.
Well, it reminds me of the Dr. Pepper shootout at halftime where everybody just underhand tosses. I'm like, no, you should say you have to overhand toss it.
Right.
You have to throw it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just start. We'll start with the contest at first. Hero wins the 3-point contest, holds off Buddy Hield and Lillard. I think to me the 3-point contest has actually become one of the better contests now because people are, at least the best players or the best shooters go and try to participate in it. Yeah. So that would be the one that I think would rank first on my list, and then it just goes down big time. The dunk contest. Yeah. They're bringing in Mac again from the G League, who won for the 3rd straight time. Why do the best players not go into the dunk contest anymore? We grew up watching Michael Jordan and Vince Carter, the best players participating in the dunk contest. Now nobody wants to do it. It just doesn't make any sense.
And I wonder if it's more of they don't ever work on fun dunks because they're so disciplined in their team play and winning championships and stuff that they're just like, I don't want to risk doing something stupid and fun and getting injured or something like that. I can understand that in a way, but still, the greats used to do it.
They used to.
Even if they didn't win, they did it.
Yes.
So I feel like you are taken away from it.
Because now we're dealing with these guys who miss half the dunks. Is it maybe the embarrassment you think, Chance, of wanting to go out there and not doing your best? Because here LeBron never does a dunk contest. all these other guys you were like, man, I would love to see them in it. Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, guys like that are just giving posters on real games. You're like, what could they do without anybody there? So make the dunk contest great again. That's why I'll say. But that was awful. Bringing in a G League guy to beat these guys again. I thought Stephon Castle actually should have won, but I didn't like that. So that I gave 1 star. Not Burgin 5-star. The 3-point was maybe 2 or 3-star. Lillard almost 3-peated in that. So then we'll go to the actual game.
Back up.
They did a 4-team bracket and had the Rising Stars play the All-Stars to get to the point.
Yeah, right.
And I saw Draymond Green made a great point on that. NBA Sunday is meant for the best players in the world for you to see. It's the one true time. The Olympics, you're all separated. The finals, you're not only going to get the 2 best teams, but the All-Star game is the one time you can see the 10 best players in the world at the court the whole time. Yeah, a lot of times they don't take it seriously. There's a way I think could change that. But to have these rising stars, that young guys play against them and they get to play at one point, I hated it. Like, that used to be such a great game. And even if there were sometimes there were blowouts, there's blowouts all the times in All-Star games and regular games. But I want to see LeBron guard Durant. I want to see Curry on Lillard. Just all that stuff. And they took it away so they could make it just...
So, something I've always been against with the NBA is it's been such a business that they make the athletes become part of the business with all their celebrity stuff that they have to go do, the guest appearances and all that. Yeah. And then you've got the year-round training that they have to do and the summer league they have to be a part of. They might not have to play it, but they have to be around and show face. If they shortened it to like how football is, and you gave basketball NBA teams 30 games, that was it.
Yeah.
And you said, look, it's 30 games, your contract's going to get cut down 15% because we're cutting the season down however many percentage, but you're going to give it your all, and you don't have to worry about all the bullshit in the summer league and all that. But we want to see the best of the best competing all the time. I think you'd get more out of them. But when you tell them you've got, is it like 80-something games?
82 games. And again, I think the only reason, but you think about this. So look at this. Look at your Washington Commanders who are going to sell out every game next year. They will.
Yeah.
You know how many games they're going to get? 8.
8, yeah.
And if they go play in London, 7.
Yeah. I don't think they'll take
They won't, but I'm just saying. Some teams would do that.
Yeah.
7, 8 games. The Warriors get 40 games at home.
Yeah, you're making your money.
They're making so much money. 40 games. That's more than... I mean, baseball's a little bit kind of on the same route, too. Baseball doesn't sell out. Like, the Warriors sell out all 40 games. Like, so to me, it's like, man, they're making their money. I don't know if it's the stats. They don't want to break up the season, but I agree, man. The NBA season is horrible.
Well, they could still make their money. They could raise the prices for the amount of games they're losing, and you get way better battles for people wanting to see it. Like, I'll be a season ticket holder and pay $10,000 just for that 1 year, just because I'm going to see Steph go off every game.
Yeah.
Instead of I might see him. You don't even know if they're playing.
Yeah, you don't even play.
You show up and you find out they're not even on the bench.
Imagine taking Journey or me taking Carter to a basketball game and driving all the way to see LeBron or Curry, and they're like, I'm sitting out this game. I'd be like, I want my money back. Right? Like, this is like, I mean, but
my flight back.
That's happened to a lot of people, man, and I can't stand it. Where it's like, if you miss a football game, like, you're either getting fined or you better be seriously injured.
Yep.
And
it's on a report the whole week.
Yes. I also think they struggle, too, with the fact that there's games in the week. On college football, we can stay up till 2 in the morning because there's no school the next day. I know people got church and stuff like that. But when you're tonight, it's a Wednesday night. The Lakers start at 10:30 Eastern time.
Yeah.
Like, so that means New York and all these people are going to miss out on watching Luka play for the Lakers tonight.
Yep.
So if you're in our time, it's 9:30. So, like, that, to me, I think takes so much off it. Like, we're like, we would stay up and watch a late game if it's a weekend, but during the week, I mean, the ratings are so bad, Chance. Like, it's the worst it's ever been, ever. Since before Magic and Larry.
Which says a lot.
It says a lot. So here's a couple things I heard I think could change the All-Star game. 1-on-1 for $1 million.
I saw. Well, they did the girls. And whatever that was, but yeah, that looked fun. They were actually balling out.
So imagine saying, "Here's $1 million. Let's get the best 12 players 1-on-1 and let game to 11 and see." That would draw ratings big time.
It would, and you could even do it with another type of like bonus for something too, like the Wheaties cover or something like that.
Yeah.
Again. Like make that type of stuff something that they want to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Here's the other thing. Remember Rock and Jock back in the day with the 30-foot goal and the 7-pointers? Have a game like that.
Right.
Where, like, if you make it past, if you make a 3 from the half court, it's 5 points. If you so-and-so, maybe that would be better than what they have at least.
Yeah.
I know it wouldn't be like this, this so-and game, but having the big, that used to be, it was a celebrity game, but it used to be so fun watching, like, who can make the big, like the aggro crag back in, I love stuff like that, but again, I think that would at least get viewers on the game. So a one-on-one game, and then a game where you have a 3/4 shot for 15 points, a so-and-so, it would at least make it entertaining, because this wasn't even entertaining.
No, not one bit.
Or at least have the best, pick 7 players on each team and say, hey, let's play. You got to play seriously. And maybe they got to put money on the line. I know they've done that the in-season tournament with money, and I don't know. But
if the league was smart and said, hey, we'll put up the insurance costs for if you get injured or something in an all-star game, it's not relative to your contract.
Yeah.
We'll take care of that. Now, if you start to see any type of players abuse that because you actually have medical staff there to evaluate a player, then they get fined, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you started taking accountability to help your players out, they'll do more for you.
Yeah, very true. And again, I bring up the point about the rating is because the NHL, they're doing this right here.
Yeah.
It's not just the USA-Canada game where they're getting fights in the first 3 minutes.
Which I thought was hilarious.
They're projecting the NHL will soon pass the NBA in what people want to watch.
Yeah.
Because they're competitive. They go all out. And again, I'm not even going to bring up the Canada-USA game because that's one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen.
Just the first 8 seconds. The first 8 to 9 seconds, there was 3 fights because those brothers and their friend just said, we're fighting tomorrow.
Yes.
You go, and then I'm going after you. And they said after that first fight, they were supposed scared because I can't live up to that.
But again, did you watch?
I watched that part.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you're not even a hockey guy, and I'm not a hockey guy, and yet I'm glued into USA-Canada.
I think I watched the first 20 minutes of it, and then I started to go do other stuff. But yeah.
So again, like I said, what entertains people, we have to realize that this is a very different type of generation when it comes to focusing and watching like baseball. And if you're at the baseball game, it's awesome. If you're watching at home, I expect baseball ratings to decline this year. I just don't think that people want to sit around for 3 hours and watch. They do for football, though.
So here's something else to think about with basketball and baseball. Youth sports, they don't do it for football as much because there's not travel sports football. There's flag and they go do that and stuff, but they're usually focused on their team sports.
Yes.
With baseball and basketball, there's club sports, travel teams, stuff like that. So when you've got all these sports going on for these kids, they're not home watching the games. They're out playing their games until 8 or 9.
Very true.
They're coming home and going to sleep. So of course those are going to make ratings go down as well, but it's overkill.
Yeah.
You've got overkill on the amount of NBA games and MLB games. You've also got overkill on the kids on the sports playing it. So if they both kind of slow down, you might find a balance where they get to actually watch all the games.
So you don't think as much. So you're saying it's not as much as the time because obviously the NFL and NCAA games, football are long, but people watch those. Mm-hmm. So it's more of like just the two sports in general are so much overkill at young sports these days that kids aren't able to watch. Again, they're on the weekends a lot of the times. Saturday, usually you have off in the fall. Most of the kids' games are during the week or maybe early in the Saturday morning. Yeah. So that's a good point. Very good point. But yeah, it was a weird weekend because I felt like I was watching other sports more than I was watching the sports I thought I was going to watch. But the Auburn-Alabama game, tip your cap to the Auburn Tigers, what a team they have, number 1 in the country, and they stay that way here on
Tide and Tigers.